Second trimester has been a breeze. I have little to no complaints. Like, honestly, I'm so grateful that my pregnancy in general has been pretty easy. So let's just get into how the second trimester has been. Hi Mer friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ariel Sahar and I talk about sustainability, eco-friendly living, gardening sometimes, and now that I've got a little bean in the oven, I am also going to be sharing my journey on becoming a sustainable mama. So if that floats your boat, then please do hit the subscribe button. I've recently just gotten out of the second trimester of my first pregnancy, and truly I have little to no complaints. But let's just do a recap of all of the things that have been going on, some of my symptoms, some of my things I've been working on, suggestions, all the stuff. If you missed my first trimester recap, then go back and watch that. And if you want to know more about my trying to conceive journey, I also have a video on that because it was not an easy journey. So if you also had a difficult journey, you were not alone, and solidarity. Second trimester is like 12 or 14 weeks to 28 weeks. And in retrospect, it kind of flew by, but like while I was in the midst of it, it kind of felt like it took forever. I didn't have any first trimester woes. I had no morning sickness, like none of the usual things that people have except for fatigue and extreme hunger. I will say in the second trimester, the fatigue definitely subsided. The hunger also subsided. In the first trimester, I gained maybe 5 pounds. In the second trimester, I gained a good 25 pounds. I just let myself eat all of the things. I was like, eating ice cream often, sweets. I will say I had such a sweet tooth. I'm saying past tense, but since gaining all of that weight, I'm telling myself no a little bit more. So, because I thought like, oh, first trimester, since I didn't gain anything, bitch, let me just eat whatever. And no, I can gain weight. So my doctor hasn't said anything about it. She's not concerned about it. So, I'm not too concerned about it as far as health goes, but as far as aesthetics go, I'm kind of like, okay, But anyway, I'm happy with my body. My body's doing what it needs to do to feed and sustain this little bean growing in me. So, I'm not telling myself no to all of the things, just some of the things, moderation. As far as doctor's appointments go in the second trimester, around 14 weeks, I had a blood test. You can do like a sneak peek or some other blood test to find out the gender. I was planning on waiting until 20 weeks to get the ultrasound, but at my blood test, I got a triggered result for like trisomy 13 or something, like the Down syndrome gene. And so my doctor ordered more blood tests. And so in the second round of blood tests, I did find out the gender. And I also found out that there wasn't a risk for the Down syndrome. So that was good news. And it was also nice to find out what the gender of my baby is. And it's a girl. Yes, I'm wearing pink. And I'm also bouncing on my yoga ball. Speaking of yoga balls, in the second trimester, I took a birthing class with my hospital. my plan is to do it as naturally as possible. So the birthing class was really good. I was worried that since it was through the hospital that, they would not be so promoting of natural birth techniques, but honestly, that was a big majority of the class was talking about like natural pain management and, all of the things that happen during like birthing and pregnancy and all that. So it was a really good course to take. My husband went to it with me as well. It was for 2 hours, 1 day a week for 3 weeks. So it was basically 3 2-hour sessions. So yeah, we learned about different laboring positions, different pain management things like, being on a yoga ball, water, counter pressure, all that type of stuff. So I was really pleased with that class, and it was free since it was through the hospital. And yeah, like that was probably one of the best things that I did in the second trimester. In addition to the childbirth class, I also started listening to the book Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. I've heard a lot of recommendations for that book for people who are wanting to go natural, and it's a very long book. The first 5 hours, if you're listening to it on audio, are just birth stories. I've been watching birth stories on YouTube for a few years now. So, hearing birth stories is not new to me. I enjoy listening to them. So, that was nice hearing other people's natural birth stories and just, learning more about how different births go and different techniques that people use. And the second half of the book, I'm still listening to it now, is more like educational and telling you, all of the different things that happen during birth and different interventions that your hospital might want to do. And yeah, it's, just for me, I feel like the more education I have, the better, so that I can go into the hospital and know what's going on and, just not being taken by surprise and, possibly allowing something to happen that doesn't need to happen. So after talking to my OB and another OB at the, within my practice, I told them that I want to be as natural as possible, and they both advised that I stay at home as long as possible because when I get to the hospital, they're gonna want to try to push interventions on me. So I am prepared to be at home and laboring for however long it takes before I go to the hospital, and hopefully when I get there, I'm like 8 centimeters and can start pushing in an hour. It's possible. So that's what we're putting out there. I've also started listening to hypnobirthing, like meditations at night. There's a hypnobirthing course that you can take, but I haven't invested in that yet. Maybe I will, I don't know. But I've just been listening to like positive affirmations for birthing, and we'll see if I want to go deeper in that, within the third trimester, or if I feel like I'm, kind of prepared. In addition to gaining weight, I also finally popped. It took until probably 20 weeks was when I really started to notice the popping. And once, like if I wore a maternity shirt, that has like the ruching and stuff on it, I feel like it was maybe a little bit more obvious to other people. But I would say by 26 weeks, it was more obvious to other people, where people would like comment on me being pregnant, which is a little weird. The first time that someone I think really noticed, I overheard a conversation at a restaurant where these two friends were trying to figure out if I was pregnant or probably just fat. And they determined that I was indeed pregnant. So that was a little, boost of self-esteem that I no longer just look fat. So that was nice. Sleep is a big thing when it comes to pregnancy. Because as you start to grow, it could become more uncomfortable to sleep. You may be getting up a lot at night to use the bathroom. And I will say, in my experience, I usually only pee maybe once a night, usually like around 3 to 4 a.m. I'll get up and use the bathroom. It's getting harder now to fall back asleep sometimes, just because like my mind is racing. There's so many things to think about. But as far as comfortability goes, in the first trimester, I slept on my stomach for like the whole time. Even into like the first half of the second trimester, I had no problem sleeping on my stomach. I've always been a stomach sleeper. But now that I'm in the, late second trimester, I have no desire to sleep on my stomach anymore. So I've been, more sleeping on my side. I also find myself waking up on my back a lot. I know sleeping on your back is a no-no when it's, while you're pregnant, but can't help what the body does. But for the most part, I am pretty comfortable while sleeping. I didn't use any special pillows in the first trimester. Now in the second trimester, I've just been using a king size pillow to put between my legs, and sometimes I'll like kind of prop it up underneath my belly too, just to give it some extra support. But I don't have any of those like special pregnancy pillows. Another symptom that I've been experiencing in the second trimester has been swollen ankles. Like, I've gotten to the point now where my ankles swell if I'm like standing for an hour. And also too, my feet hurt a lot. I guess, like I said, I've gained some weight. So, maybe I'm carrying around some little extra pounds and my little feet just aren't prepared for that. I've always been one to just walk around the house barefoot. But now I'm like, if I'm cooking in the kitchen for an hour or even less sometimes, like I'm just washing dishes for 20 or 30 minutes, my ankles start to swell, my feet start to hurt. So I was recently gifted some house shoes by Kyrgyz. These are 100% wool house shoes. They are from a sustainable brand, and my goodness, they are a complete must-have for me right now. These are the shoes here. They are so comfortable. Like, they just have a, soft, or like a leather sole bottom. They're just house shoes. But since I'm so used to just walking around barefoot, not having any type of support or cushion, these have been so much better for my feet. They don't, solve or prevent the swelling, or, my feet still hurt sometimes if I've been standing for a long time. But these house shoes definitely help to reduce the, pain that I'm having when I'm walking around the house. So I would highly suggest you to get some house shoes if you don't have any already. Another thing I do recommend getting is a yoga ball, which I am sitting on right now. It's just so nice to have somewhere else to sit that's not like super firm on my butt. Like, I haven't had any back pain or anything, but just sitting on the yoga ball is nice. It's comfortable. And then of course, I learned in my childbirth class that movement is very important, and especially as I go into the third trimester, making sure that baby is in the correct position for labor is also really important, and having a yoga ball does help with that. Another thing I recommend getting in the second trimester, if you didn't get it in the first trimester, you may not have needed it so much like me, but if your boobs grow, you might want to get a larger bra size. I haven't had that problem, but I have had a problem with my booty growing, so I had to get some larger underwear. You can watch my video that I recently put up on that about organic underwear, maternity underwear that I purchased. So if you're in the same boat as me and like have grown your bottom exponentially, then check out that video. I think that is about it for the second trimester pregnancy recap. Like I said, it's been pretty easy. It's flown by. I can't believe that now I am already in the third trimester. Like, we literally have weeks to go at this point. So that's exciting and nerve-wracking a little bit. But yes, everyone says that the second trimester is like the easiest. And, you know, so far I would tend to agree, since I especially didn't have so much fatigue. Even though the first trimester wasn't awful for me, the second trimester has definitely been better because of like the fatigue, and I'm actually finally starting to look pregnant. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date with my pregnancy and once baby girl gets here, and my entire journey with becoming a sustainable mother. So until next time, continue to make better choices for the health of your body and for the health of the planet. Ciao!